I began a series 2 weeks ago talking about recognizing a healthy marriage. And when we began this series, really I shared with you how this not only applied to marriages, but really applies to relationships. And so the first Sunday we talked about 6 healthy vitamins for a marriage. And last Sunday we talked about conflict and dealing with conflict in a marriage. And inside your program is some notes for you to take today. And I would encourage you after each of the 5 areas to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 as to how well you're doing with this. 1 being not so good at all and 10 being fabulous, because it will help you as you move forward in your life. And as I share this message, also I'm aware that some of you may know more about this than I do. And yet you and I know there are people that need to hear certain things. And so even if this message maybe doesn't hit you directly, I believe it will be something you can help somebody else and bless them with. But today I want to talk with you about the number 1 reason for divorces. I mean, if we're talking about healthy marriages, one of the things we're trying to prevent here is divorce. And if we can find the reasons why and address those, it will help us to have healthier marriages. And I'm not sure if you know the reason, number 1 reason for divorce. Some of you may. But according to Time Magazine and the Gallup poll, the number 1 reason is money. Money. I mean, nothing can suck the life out of a relationship than struggling day after day after day with money. There's no money to do anything that might help you relax. There's all this pressure to work, and so you work even harder and more and have less time for each other. And the joy of the relationship is just twisted out of it. So today I want to talk to you about money. Now, as I do this, I need for you to know, some of you probably are like, well, I'm not surprised a preacher's talking about money. I wished I had a nickel for every time somebody came to church and happened to be a Sunday that I was talking about stewardship or money, and they didn't come back. Because you know, every time I go to church, all the preacher talks about is money. Why is that so offensive to some people? You ever had a conversation with somebody, and in the conversation a topic got brought up, and they just overreacted, and you're thinking, well, I know it's not me. Somehow or another this topic hits them in such a way that it creates a lot of nerve endings and they're upset. I think the same can be said for money. This is why Jesus talked about it. Do you know that he talked more about money than he did heaven and hell combined? He knew we would struggle with this. He knows the human heart. And so today I want us to talk about money, and I'm not just giving you that from my perspective. Decided to go to the wealthiest man in the world according to the Bible, and also one of the wisest, and his name was Solomon. And Solomon gives us 5 things to do to help us to help take care of this situation. So today we're going to look at foundations for financial freedom. Number 1, and it begins in Proverbs 27, verse 23, which says, "Be sure to know the conditions of your flock." It says, "Give careful attention to your herds, for riches do not endure forever, and a crown is not secure for all generations." Basically what he's saying is, keep good records. That's number 1. Keep good records. Know the condition of your flock. You know, I wished I had a nickel for every time somebody has said to me, I just don't know where my money went. Well, you know, if you don't know, who does? I think that's one of the good things about some of the programs out there, that you can type in where your money goes, and it'll show you a graph. Here's how much you spend here, and here's how much you spend here. If you're not keeping track of where your money is going, you cannot make corrections, you cannot adjust things, you cannot help yourself. Because ignorance regarding your finances is an equation for catastrophe. Proverbs 23:23 says, get the facts at any price. Proverbs 24:3, any enterprise becomes strong through common sense and profits by keeping abreast of the facts. So that's just good accounting, isn't it? And maybe 4 quick things I want you to know about keeping good records is, number 1, you ought to know what you own. What do you own? Number 2, what you owe. Number 3, what you earn. And number 4 is where it goes, your expenditures. Until you know those things, you're in the dark when it comes to your finances, and you're going to struggle. You have to keep good records. And law number 1 is you can't ignore any of these principles. They are for financial freedom and health in your relationships. And what happens in marriages when you don't keep good records? Misunderstandings and trouble. Early on in my life, I had a teaching by someone on this who said in a marriage, you should set a limit as to how much each of you can spend without talking to the other. And I'm like, well, why is that? They're like, well, let's say the limit's $50 and you got $50 in your account and both of you go out and spend $50. You got no money and you're in trouble. It's communication. So keeping good records is number 1. And you're going to find these are very practical. I'm just trying to give you some practical things to work with here. Number 2, the second law here is plan your spending. Plan your spending. Not only know where your money's going, but plan on where you want it to go. Proverbs 21:5, the plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. You need to know where your money is going. The average American holds 13 credit cards with a combined debt of $8,500. In addition, there are $14,000 in debt based on home loan or car loans or school loans. More than $10,000 on secured debt with some kind of equity in the house, and more than $85,000 in mortgage. We spend hastily. The easiest thing in the world is to go into debt. I mean, it's no sweat to go into debt, is it? You see signs out front of businesses that say 1,094 easy payments. There's no such thing as an easy payment, is there? We need to know where our money is going, because getting into debt is like dealing with drugs or dealing with alcoholism. People say, I can handle it. We'll pay it off. Don't worry. It's all going to be fine. But it isn't. Proverbs 21:20, the wise man saves for the future, but the foolish man spends whatever he gets. So how do you help yourself in planning your spending? It's called a budget. Just having a budget. A budget's just planned spending. You plan where your money is going. You become the director of your money. And Solomon gives good advice about this. Here's some 3 things about planning a budget, a healthy, good characteristics of a good budget. Number 1, in a marriage, it ought to be a mutual decision. Where do we want our money to go? What usually happens is God seems to put one person with a spender and another person with a saver, and they struggle, and yet they can help each other more than anybody else. So mutual decision in a budget. Number 2, you ought to be praying over your budget. God, where do you want this money to go? And please do not guilt yourself into thinking, well, I need to give it all to the poor and just live however. In fact, I was talking with somebody this morning who told me that they had been working with the Census Bureau, and that somewhere up the river is a little community that has 2 homes that you cannot get to by driving. You have to take a boat to it. They have no electricity and they have no running water. And twice a week, this 89-year-old man who lives in one of the houses takes his boat and goes across the river with his guitar. Somebody picks him up and takes him to a nursing home to sing for those old people. Okay? Know where it's going. You need to have a budget. You need to be aware of where it is, because you need to know what you're doing. A self-made man usually worships his maker and thinks he's but God.